chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Welcome to ChuggieBets, the hottest podcast in Florida for sports betting and trash talking. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, we're gonna hit you with some some NFL picks tonight, or today, or wherever it is you're listening to this. We got myself, Al, although it says Andy, Danny, and Matt. Let's chug a beer and make some picks. Cheers.
Camel Bush Light.
I actually lied. I'm out of beers, so I'm just hydrating tonight.
Nice.
I did that on Monday.
Let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather, if you were to go, so granted, let's start here. What's the best? Would you rather go to London or to like Germany or to Mexico or anywhere else where these international series games are being played? And what's the likelihood of you actually like doing that, committing to it? Because it's got to be like $5,000 commitment to go watch a football game, right?
Yeah, I would choose London because the fans really like embrace it. Now, I haven't seen Germany, and when's the last time there's been a German game?
NFL Europe? Probably.
Yeah, there hasn't been like a regular NFL game in years, if I can remember. So I don't really have a control, but at least the London crowd kind of gets it. And if I see like that guy in the Jaguar costume or the Jaguar face paint, which was immaculate, he could have been like he looked like a live action Lion King character.
Yeah,
it was tremendous.
Like someone from Cats.
Yeah, so like I'm down for that culture, like really embracing it over there with the English oddities.
Where it's like a full sideshow.
If I'm going to England to watch a sporting event, it ain't going to be for the NFL.
I've heard that.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, I would probably rather go to 2 soccer games, but you could, because NFL's during Premier League, you could like stack it so you do a soccer game on a Saturday and then go see your NFL team in London on a Sunday.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I think I heard that the fans in Germany are really good. Like when the Rhine Fire or whatever were a team in the NFL Europe, they like consistently had the biggest showing for fans. So I think there's an appetite there that would make that also a fun trip. Plus, you can drink German beer and eat pretzels and sausage. I mean, I guess you could do that in England too.
I'll pass on the pretzels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're such a hater of something that's delicious and starchy and that just soaks up beer space. Like it's a perfect hangover.
I'd rather just put more beer in that beer space.
No, but buddy, you get to a point where it's gonna eventually like weigh dividends. That pretzel keeps you in the pocket the whole time. We were talking about this before. I always feel more hungover on Halloween from the candy, right? But if I had a pretzel, like a big ass pretzel, I'm not talking about the Halloween pretzel. Fuck that. No. I'm saying a big, dumb, doughy pretzel served to me with like a stein of beer. I feel like it'd be in a better position today than 18 Reese's peanut butter cups.
I don't know. I ate all the kids' Reese's. I ate all of them. They don't know how good a peanut butter cup is because every time they got one, I was grabbing it from the bag before they even.
Do you guys trick or treat in your own neighborhood, or do you have to go somewhere else to trick or treat?
I go to Austin's neighborhood because it's his birthday, and they have like a really good neighborhood for trick or treating.
We always kind of hop around to other neighborhoods. Our neighborhood sucks. We had one group of kids come yesterday. One.
Yeah, we had we go to our buddy's house, which is like just a block or two over in their neighborhood, and you know, the kids all have fun and get to all trick or treat together, and like all the houses participate. And then we put a bucket of candy out at our own house, and it's so crazy. I think the first year, like half the candy was gone, and then last year all the candy was gone, and this year like no one came. So we have like a full bucket of candy plus all the shit the kids got. And I was like, fuck, I gotta take this shit to work or something. I'm gonna get real fat if I eat all this.
Yeah, so we do for our kids, we do this thing called the Switch Witch where they trade their candy for a toy.
Yeah.
The witch comes and takes the candy and brings them like a toy that they really like. Has to be a really good toy because it's a lot of candy, and then we kind of hide that candy and bring it out.
Give it for Christmas.
Put it in their stockings or something.
They get treats throughout the year, so like I don't know if they know that it's Halloween candy or not, but
Yeah, but
They'll
the
figure it
stock's
out.
always up.
It's not like a real like long con we're doing here. But then the shitty candy I take to work, and I have a little jar that I keep like Jolly Ranchers in, and I'm just gonna use this candy for that, like the fucking sweet parts and the.
You're
You're
not trying.
Dots are gross.
Dots are awful.
They're just there to get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, I hate candy that gets stuck in your teeth. Milk
No,
duds.
Butterfingers are okay.
Too.
Stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, it's a different. It's a different. Okay, it's not. I still like Butterfingers are pretty far down the list for me, but they're in a different ballpark than like the bad candy.
Dots are so bad.
Dots are
Butterfingers are
everything's not chocolate.
Butterfingers are one of my top.
And everything that's chocolate. It's two different tiers.
Yeah. No, because there's better than like Sour Patch Kids are pretty fucking good, man.
They're great. But going back to your earlier question, I would love to see a game at Estadio Azteca, right? It's like a legendary stadium floating in the sky. They love American football there, so I think that'd be a fun one too. I don't know. I guess I would go if I had disposable income enough to go to.
That seems like it'd be the cheapest one
for sure.
Us.
I still think I would do London because you could stack other sporting events. I don't know. I guess I would like to go to a Liga Mexi game too. That'd be pretty cool. So
that would be.
Yeah. Go to what was the Liga MX team that they had like an all-out like gang war in the crowd last year? It was like Atlas and someone else, I think, but like a bunch of people got like really fucked up at that game.
I'd have to buy. I think I'd have to buy the expensive tickets and like.
Yeah, go see like Santos Laguna, which is like their Dallas Cowboys, I think, like where it's probably less gang affiliated. Are you trying to look it up?
They're probably all gang affiliated.
Yeah,
but
it was
Atlas versus Querétaro.
Yeah, there was like dozens of people injured. I think a couple people died. So, anywho, anywhere you go to see a soccer game, you're probably going to run into a little bit of devoted fans.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Let's talk about some quarterbacks. I'm going to give you guys a name. You tell me if they are like NFL caliber or not. Like if it was a one-hit wonder or if they're here to stay. Let's go with Tommy DeVito for the Giants.
No.
One-hit wonder? No? One-hit
no
wonder?
hit wonders. Look,
No hit
that
wonder.
game the other day had more punts than points. 25 points.
That's so many punts.
24 points. And they also had negative. I guess when you get sacked, it goes against the passing yards, the team's passing yards.
Passing, yeah.
Giants had -6 passing yards the other day. -6. And Tommy DeVito is a big part of that. So I'm going to pass. I'm going to say.
You always see like people mention how soccer is never going to catch on in America because there's not enough scoring and it's boring. And anytime someone mentions that, I'm going to just mention this game. 25 punts. That's so many punts. It's like 7 punts a quarter.
Defensive games on any sport can be fun. Like this was a defensive game up until the end of this World Series, and it was a really fun game to watch.
I agree. Defensive games can be fun, but they can also be very not fun too.
That game was not fun. That was the opposite of the Iowa enjoyment you may get sometimes.
There are exciting plays to be made on defense.
The thing is, Iowa punts a lot, but you know that's their goal, and they like are always getting themselves into position to pin the other team deep in a punt, and that like creates points for their team. It's a really interesting way to watch football. It's not like the way the Miami Dolphins used to punt a lot, where it was like we're just going to run the ball 3 times into the back of the line and then punt, and then the other team's going to go score on us.
Yeah. Tyson Bagent, what do you guys think? One-hit wonder or here to stay?
I'm going to say he's not very good.
Yeah, that feels right.
That game against the Chargers the other day got bad very quickly. And I would say that's a tough place to play on the road, but it's not a tough place to play on the road. I don't think he's particularly good.
So
I think Tyson Bagent's here to stay. And I think the reason I'm saying that, he did throw a couple of interceptions, but overall he did not look terrible. He
No.
is the all-time leading touchdown leader of the NCAA. So the dude, has some experience playing quarterback, and his dad is a world-class athlete. So
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be here to stay. He's got the genes and he's got the work ethic, and he definitely has to stick with it because, God, nobody knew who the fuck he was, and he still ended up making a start in the NFL, a couple of starts now. So
you think you could be like a Chase Daniel kind of player,
Or even like a Taylor Haneke?
uh,
Spot start capable?
I think his ceiling would be like Gardner Minshew.
Okay.
pretty good ceiling.
Yeah. It's a higher ceiling than Chase Daniel, probably.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what career you're looking for. Chase Daniel made a lot of money never playing.
Yeah.
It's the dream. That's the dream job.
It does not get better than that. Oh, I feel like there was something I was going to pivot to, but so let's talk about Will Levis, okay? Because he had a really outstanding performance in his first start, right? This was his first start, or was he? I know he was rotating in and out with Malik Willis, but
he threw the ball really far, and what the fuck's his name? Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins
caught them all. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins caught them all. So
I was going to say that. So 2/3 of Will Levis's passing yards were his 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So it's very boomer bust as far as the arm talent there goes. But I think having DeAndre Hopkins is very helpful.
That is a helpful little tool.
Ask Matt Stafford how it was to have a DeAndre Hopkins over there, or Matt Ryan for that matter. Having a DeAndre Hopkins on your team really helps. Or
those Houston teams,
or any of those Houston quarterbacks that got to throw to DeAndre Hopkins.
But I do think the Titans are out on Tannehill. I don't know if he'll start unless Will Levis crashes and burns. I think Malik Willis is certainly not the guy there. So I think it's Will Levis's job to lose. So he could hang on to it. So I think
he looks like a quarterback. He looks like a quarterback.
I hate it.
He's got a cannon. He looks the part. But lots of guys have looked the part and crashed and burned. Not a lot of guys have looked the part, crashed and burned, or looked the part and thrown 4 touchdowns in their first start, and then crashed and burned. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the tape will be out on him, right? So I wouldn't expect that kind of offensive performance.
What tape do they have, Matt? It's a bunch of dink and dunks, and then sling it as far as you can and let DeAndre Hopkins run under it.
Dude, you can say that all you want. The NFL fucking finds out. They always find your weakness, right? Unless you have an offensive genius calling plays, and I don't think Tennessee does. They hand that shit to Derrick Henry 97 times, and it's a good play. But that's their offense, right? And maybe Will Levis opens that up, but I don't know. I've seen him be washed and distressed before, and obviously people know better than I do.
He always had a cannon. He always had. He always will. He always will. So speaking of offensive geniuses. I was watching a TikTok video today breaking down a Dolphins play against the Patriots, and it was the one where Waddle caught a wide open touchdown over the middle. Mm-hmm. And the way that they broke down what McDaniels did and what he knew Bill Belichick was going to do, it was amazing just to see the way that he basically set up the best coach of all time, because the Dolphins have this play that's their bread and butter where it's an RPO where it ends in the wheel route that Tyreek Hill's running after he goes in motion, and there's a slant, and then the dump off is a running back into the flat if they don't hand it off. And basically they baited Bill Belichick into having his linebackers cover the slant and the safety go over the top and try and chase Hill and take away Hill and make him throw the slant and have the linebackers cover it. But instead of Mike McDaniel knew he was going to do that, instead of having the slant, he flattened it out into a seam route, and then there's nobody there because the safety went the other way.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of genius to watch the chess match between two coaches when they.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really good, and he's doing this. He's doing this to the best coaches too, and he's.
It's honestly, it's got to be so frustrating being a defensive coordinator in the NFL, especially today, because offensive coordinators and the good ones are looking at the very rigid box with which defenses are constructed, and they're saying, okay, we can just do this concept, whether it's a mesh or whatever it is, 4 verts, and then we can tweak it. And instead of doing this, we'll make it look like we're doing that, but then just run to where we know the guy's not going to be. And defensively, you can't do that. You can't be like, oh, we're just going to cover here and then go cover where there's not a guy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can. It's zone defense, baby.
There is a defense
Yeah,
of that.
but-
It's called the robber, where like you show cover 2 and then it switches to a deep safety and one of the safeties kind of drops in lower. You're supposed to be able to get interceptions that way, especially on like tight end pop routes and
yeah, in like
and-
high school. But like in the NFL, the quarterbacks
No,
know
they run
that's
it
what's
in the NFL.
happening. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
They see it, but like young quarterbacks will fall for it still.
yes, yeah, but it's got to be so hard to like. You basically you have for like offensively, you can just alter a route and you're not and like change the progression and you've got a new play that's essentially a trick play. Defensively, in order to like do something like that, you need to abandon an assignment, which means you need to expose yourself in one area to be able to like try and make a guess in another spot. It would drive me crazy. I don't know how
No,
people
it's
do it.
really hard.
It seems impossible. So there was another thing that I wanted to kind of mention that you know how you guys have heard me bitch about this all the time. Why can't offensive coordinators get the play call in on time? And it was something in Kirk Ferentz's latest press conference that got me. And he was talking about how like he had been in rooms before, not at Iowa, but somewhere else, where they knew what the other play calls were going to be, and that their quarterback that day, who wasn't very good, set a stadium record.
Mhm.
And I think the reason that a lot of coaches can't get the play is because they're waiting to see what the defense is called before they call the play.
That's a good point, right? We're on the heels of everything going
Yeah.
on in Michigan. People steal signs. That's part of the game. So if you can figure out how they're stealing signs and then make a play, choose to play around it, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because I was wondering why it's taking forever to snap the ball, and it actually would make me feel better about it. And instead of looking at coaches, be like, why the fuck are you wasting the whole clock?
Like, I've just wondered so many times why the fuck a coach can't get the play call in on time. Like, why can't you get the fucking play call in? And it's because they're literally waiting for what the defensive play call is before they call it.
Yeah, I mean, it also they don't have a lot of time. I think they get like 15 seconds before the headset's cut off. So it's like, you want to see how the previous play ends before you're deciding on what you want to
No,
do on
you're
the
not.
next
You're not
play,
doing
and
that.
then
You're not
you've
waiting
only
for what
got.
the play, unless it's a big play.
Well, no, you need to. You need to know if you're looking at 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 3 or 1st and 10 or 3rd and short. You can't just like have. I mean, you script your opening drive, but you're also not holding.
I think
to
that matters more
firmly.
on 2nd
You're
down, waiting for what
something around.
happens on the play if you're going to get to 3rd down. But I don't think it matters as much on 1st and 2nd down.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said before, I fully support the idea of having the coordinator in the quarterback's ear the entire play clock, just like lining up to snap the ball, and he's like, do this, watch the safety, watch the mic, and you're like, shut the fuck up, dude, I'm trying to.
It just rips the
football.
microphone out of the headset. That's enough.
I really don't like the idea of coaches basically playing Madden with real people on audio control.
Why? That seems fun.
It's so like then we're just rooting for the coach as like a gamer.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to watch the players play football.
You're gonna put a little like square and a
Throw
circle
a triangle.
and X
Throw a
above
triangle.
R2.
Hit stick.
Oh shit! All right, what do you guys think? Should we make some
Yeah, it
picks?
seems about that time.
Okay. I wanted to say our dear pal Sunshine joined us here as well, so we've got a full quad box of picks coming
Look
at you.
now, I made it.
Welcome. Oh, I love the background too, and you blend in so
Thanks,
well
man.
to it.
Thanks. I'm coming off of watching the Atlanta United match, so I am maybe a little lit.
Ah, boy.
Oh hell yeah! How'd it go? Did y'all win?
It was awful.
Okay. Hey, it
Yeah.
happens. All right, so let's dive into some picks. I want to recap last week though first. So if you've been tagging along with us this season, we are now 8 weeks in, and we have been in the black on 6 of those 8 weeks. We went 14, 11, and 2 combined last week. 3 and 3 myself, and my Chucky bet hit. Andy went 6, 5, and 1. Actually, we didn't update this post Monday Night Football, so I don't know what his
He's
last
good.
bet was.
He's good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
7, 5, and 1. Danny went 3 and 1, won his Chucky bet, and so I think that's actually the best profit on the week. Matt 2, 2, and 1, and also I think may or may not have won his Chucky bet. I don't see it there, but Danny, you, my friend, best week performance. You get to pass out a beer chug. So do that whenever you like.
Does that mean I have 2 since I also won my Chuggy bet?
And then I guess,
Mhm.
yeah, shit. Oh, Danny's gonna be
Danny, give out
dangerous.
give out
I
5.
guess technically
Give
I
out
have
5.
one.
Give out
out 5.
however many you feel.
out 5.
You were like, the game master when you were playing a game of like Ring of Death or whatever, and you could just do whatever you want, make rules. I'm gonna implore you with that power. You can tell people to drink at any time for this one episode.
All right, Matt. You have to.
You
You
get a
can
Chuggy.
drink, but you have to
You get a
take the little
Chuggy.
man off your cup every time.
I will do that for the rest of this. If you guys are watching on YouTube, here I'll hold my beer here and I will take the green man off each time I want to drink.
That's fantastic. We should actually do like a live stream of just us
Drinking
playing
games.
like cards. Yeah. All right. Let's kick
This
this thing off. So
podcast
the
is
first
just
game
for
we've
us,
got
so
this week-
I'm sure we should do that.
Yeah.
We should. I mean, yeah, we don't have to record. We can. We can just get. I just want to FaceTime with you guys and play cards.
Sounds great. How would just one person and we like have the ring of death there?
How do you guys feel about euchre? yeah. If we just play with one deck of cards and I just like hold up your cards in front of you on the camera,
Nobody.
and we each play with our own deck.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so Thursday Night Football, we head to the Steel City, the Tennessee Titans taking on Pittsburgh Steelers. I guess we should start with Danny and Matt. Same place we start
Let's do
every
it.
Thursday. What play do you guys have?
36.5. It has not been good so
Wow.
far this season, but sometimes these plays get cold and then they heat back up.
I'm not going to miss it once it starts cooking. And this seems like a perfect time for an under. We got Matt Canada in Pittsburgh. We got Will Levis going to Pittsburgh. Love this play. Under 36.5. It's going to be a tight one.
I'll be honest with you. 36.5 sounds surprisingly high for this matchup. I would have had this pegged at like a field goal less.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be under 35. Particularly because it was Thursday night and bad quarterbacks. But I think Will Levis's breakout last week kept it a little higher. But I mean, everybody talks about how Bill Belichick tears apart rookie quarterbacks. Don't sleep on Mike Tomlin's defenses.
For sure, that is so true. Sunshine, you're tailing here as well, taking the under.
Absolutely. I wasn't able to get Will Levis in fantasy, so fuck him.
I love.
I have a bit of good news. It looks like there are several 37s out there. So why don't we just give ourselves a 37?
Ooh.
How do you feel?
Let's
give
I
ourselves
wish I waited to bet this.
Perfect. Yeah, under 377.
You know what? I'm gonna double down to the better number.
Oh, okay, and then obviously this spread being at 8.5 or 8, wherever you're looking, puts it perfectly well within that Wong teaser range. So Andy is teasing the Titans from +2.5 up to +8.5. I am laying 2.5 with the Steelers at home. I think the Steelers are a tough beat at home. I think the Titans are maybe a little inflated with the performance Will Levis had last week. And I think the Steelers defense is really good. I think they're going to give him fits, and he'll be seeing ghosts out there.
If you were to tease this for
Um,
Pittsburgh, you can get it at plus 3.5. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I don't know that.
I mean, I think for
see a 3.
Wongs,
I don't see a
you're not
3.5.
supposed to cross. You're not supposed to cross
Okay.
0. So you'd. But yeah, I mean, if I like it at -2.5, I'd like it at plus 3.5.
Not
too,
just
so
walks.
that works.
Crossing 0 is bad unless you're going from 3 to 3, I think, which I guess you're doing here, right?
Yeah, I would go 2.5 to plus 3.5, right? So a field goal loss, I'd still win.
Yeah.
No, I think that's generally not a good play.
Okay. I didn't know if it was. I just had never thought about going that way. I always take the dog and move them up to the 8.
Yeah. And I mean, we're talking like, historic and context wise, but generally speaking, if you like a play or if a bet hits, it was a good play. That's my stance. All right. So that's Steelers -2.5, tease the Titans up to 8.5, and 3 of us on under 37 for Thursday night. That I hope that's a good game. That'd be fun. A good.
It sounds like
game.
it's going to be
A
ugly.
close
It
ugly
feels
game. Yeah. So after that Thursday night matchup, we head to Germany, to Frankfurt, to watch the Dolphins take on the Chiefs. That's a Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. kickoff. I'm assuming you guys are going to be on the Dolphins here, right?
Nope.
No.
I am
Oh, okay.
absolutely on the Dolphins with this.
Okay.
Sunshine's taking the Dolphins. Okay. What is it? Plus 1.5?
Yeah, I'm not saying that
Okay.
Kansas City are frauds. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want people to think that, but I do think that Mike McDaniel might be an offensive genius, and also because his sense of humor is just so outlandish and great. Yeah, they'll win.
Yeah, I'm a little. I would like to
yeah,
take. I would like to take the Dolphins here, but every time they played a team with a winning record recently, it hasn't gone particularly great for the Dolphins. And the 1.5 means yes, they can lose by 1, but I'm basically in my mind, I'm thinking they're going to win. And I just haven't seen any proof of that. They kick the shit out of bad teams. Teams with losing records are 500, but those winning teams, those top of the top teams, they get beaten quite consistently by big.
So, like, in my, the way I see it is Kansas City. What they lost to the Lions, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Totally playoff contender.
Sure did.
They lost to the Broncos on a flu week, right? Patrick Mahomes having the flu.
Yep.
I just think that, I don't think that Kansas City is coming out like,
hair on fire.
I don't think they're doing that. I think they're coming off a flu week, man.
Yeah, so for me, this game is a lot like the Bills Bengals matchup, in that you've got a team that is supposed to be really good, that's playing inconsistent or they're looking very mortal, but it's in a spot where the line is too good to pass up. So I'm gonna lay 1.5 with the Chiefs. You don't often get Chiefs as short favorites like this, or dogs. I mean, they're not dogs here, but that's about as rare as it is seeing them as short favorites. I think their defense is probably what's going to be the difference here. Offensively, two potent offenses. I think the Dolphins probably get the edge there, but defensively, you've got one side that hasn't shown it can stop anyone, and one side that has shown it can look really good when it wants to. And this is going to be a primetime matchup against a really quality opponent. So I think the Chiefs show up. So
Andy is on both the Dolphins plus 2.5, under 50.5, which he's wrong about. And this is the best bet on this game, which is teasing Miami. He got it at 2.5. It's down to 1.5 now, but the Wong teaser still applies up to 7.5, or Andy got it to 8.5. I also have that teaser bet, but I don't give those out here because it's cheating.
So, Danny, you're on the over? Is that what you're saying?
I'm on the over 50.5. I think Kansas City feels kind of embarrassed only putting up 9 points in a game, and they're going to put up 30. And the Dolphins pretty much always put up 30, so that's 10-point cushion. I also think you want to put. Also, if you know anything about the Bundesliga, they don't play defense in Germany.
They don't. That's true.
I think that yes, I do think they're embarrassed by the loss they just took, but I don't think that Miami doesn't know that. So Miami's going to prepare for that. And I think this comes down to I think this comes down to a Sanders kick.
God, I hope.
But obviously,
I like
a
that.
3-point win. A 3-point win because I got them at 1.5.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll be down 1.5 and they'll kick the field goal to win that 1.5.
Exactly 1.5.
So I got a question for you guys pertaining to this game. I'm sorry to go on a sidetrack, but is this the first time Tyreek Hill's going to be playing Kansas City? And what do you expect from him for this game? Do you expect him to go off, or do you think Andy Reid and everyone's going to be well aware of him and know his tendencies?
No,
Be aware, know his tendencies. You still have to be faster than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes, right? To both. Like, I think there's the high potential for him to go off, even though the Chiefs are clearly going to try and eliminate him from the offense. But every team the Dolphins have played have tried that, and no one's really succeeded very well.
I was just wondering for prize picks and props, because Tyreek Hill, you can get over a half a touchdown. I'm like, it feels pretty good. That feels like it's likely to hit. I just didn't know if you thought there was a chance, knowing Tyreek Hill so well, that wouldn't play.
Tyreek Hill's also been one of these football players who's been very interested in building a brand a lot. Like, Jalen Ramsey, there's been a little bit of talk about him doing that recently. But not a lot of football players have been able to build a brand the way like Michael Jordan or Dwayne Wade or LeBron James have, right?
Yeah.
But he's one who's definitely trying, and I think he has the personality and the skill set to do it. I think the one thing that he has is a past that won't really let him do it, but maybe the people in Germany won't know about that. And he's going to want to build that in Europe. So he's going to want to have a big game. He's also still on his quest for 2,000 yards. So I think Tyreek Hill has a big game here.
Okay. Sorry. I just thought it was an interesting debate.
Yeah. So to sum this one up, we're split on the side. Andy's teasing the total also, or the Dolphins, and we're also split on the total. So teaser sounds like the best play.
Where's the Taylor Swift tour this weekend? Are they in Europe now, or are they?
She's still on break.
She's on break, so she might go to the game.
Oh, she's going to be there.
They were on a break.
Because she wasn't at that Denver game when they lost. They've been winning all the games she's at, so I bet she goes to Germany.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
The Rangers are the World Series winners.
Yeah, that was fairly clear when they scored 4 runs in the ninth.
Oh yeah.
Cheers. Oh.
Thank you, Matt.
Did you guys see the conspiracy theory? I saw someone mention a conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce so that because they were playing the Jets that week, so that when you Google Taylor Swift Jets, that you see baseball, you see football stuff come up and her relationship stuff come up instead of her private jet usage that she was getting shit
that
over.
That would be awesome.
So that's a fun conspiracy theory.
Over her private jet usage?
Yeah, they were big.
Yeah, like all the celebrities, they fly private everywhere, and they're worse for the
environment.
Well, not the economy, the environment than like all Americans
Taylor Swift
together.
Cannot get on a Southwest flight. Just standing in the line with everybody else.
She's in boarding group B somehow.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift can't even fly Delta One. She cannot even fly Delta One. That's just not happening.
It's actually a very funny image, like picturing her like on a Frontier flight plane in the same row as you.
I just, you know how in Southwest you all have to line up, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's no actual seats. Like Taylor Swift, like, oh, that was my seat. Travis is gonna sit there.
She should actually like leverage airlines into like covering her private jet costs, because she could literally impact their bottom line by showing up for commercial flights and like delaying flights.
Don't they have like a third pilot in some of these scenarios? I feel like she should sit as like the backup pilot inside the cockpit. I think that'd be great marketing. I don't know if it's safe. I don't know if she knows how to fly a plane. I'm assuming not. But what is it?
Taylor Swift causes the
Taylor
next
Swift should
9/11.
just be the flight attendant. She should come down and hand me my free whiskeys.
Wow. That's pretty.
I said
sexist,
flight attendant,
Danny.
not stewardess. I was very careful with my language.
You were.
Hey, Danny, who run the world?
Flight attendant.
Beyonce?
Girls. Okay. Sorry. That was a fun tangent. Let's get into the Sunday slate. Vikings, Falcons, 1 o'clock. Let me start with Sunshine because I want to give him his moment here. What you got?
Thank you, Al. Thank you. All right. I'm going to open a beer. All right. So I am taking the Falcons. 4.5 points, right?
Here.
Breaking news today that, I guess Desmond Ridder did not clear concussion protocol. And so Taylor will have to start as QB, which the offense under him looked like they were revived and, dare I say, happy,
Yeah, I love me some Taylor Heineke, man.
Yeah, and so I think
QB1
that, and who's playing QB for the Vikings?
His name is Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall, right?
Yeah,
not Dobbs.
Exactly.
I don't think I'm too familiar, and they're only just a few games away from signing Matt Ryan. So, anyways, dude, the Falcons, yeah. Hey, Kyle Pitts. Yeah. There's just too many weapons out there. It's gonna be fantastic, right, Daniel?
Based on everything you just said, I'm taking under 37.5.
So
yeah, that also sounds like
that sounds like the smart plays. I don't understand why the spread's only 4.5, and I feel like the NFL knows something I don't know. So I'm going to take the points with Minnesota and just say plus 4.5 because the NFL is working something here. Don't understand it. This should be a much worse number in my mind, but it feels like it's going to end up being a close game. Minnesota plus 4.5. I'm going.
How many points do you think Kirk Cousins
there are
is
times
worth?
7? I don't really know. Like the quarterback position.
So Vegas if it's worth 7 points, you think they'd only be favored 2.5 if they were playing Atlanta at home normally? Are they playing in Atlanta normally?
Probably.
I think Minnesota would be a touchdown favorite against this year's Atlanta Falcons with a backup quarterback. Playing a backup quarterback.
The Vikings aren't that good this year. You're thinking
the Vikings have had a killer offense this year with Kirk Cousins. And they're playing a Heineke.
I don't think that's accurate.
I'm sorry. What's wrong with Heineke? I'm starting him in my fantasy team, Danny. What's wrong with Heineke?
I mean, I'm probably starting him on our fantasy team too.
Legitimately, I would say Taylor Heineke shifts the line the Falcons' way by 3 points. So you wanted to call it a 4-point swing then?
Drink a beer, and now every time you say Taylor Heineke, you have to say Swift after the word Taylor.
Okay.
I just want to point out that Matt is still taking off and putting on the little man.
I forgot to. I penalized myself by doing it again. I need to get another.
Thank you for following the rules.
Of course.
But yeah, Matt's crazy. I took Atlanta minus 4.5. It's sometimes simple works, and the simple thing is they've got the better quarterback, and that's it.
That's why I'm saying I don't think that this line is like weird. The whole point I was saying is I don't think this line's weird, right? I think that like Minnesota would be normally favored by about a touchdown. It should have been, maybe Atlanta was favored by 1.5 or so. Matt, I don't know what he's getting at where he thinks that Atlanta should have been favored by a whole touchdown or something. I don't know.
A guy who was at BYU last year, starting his first game on the road in the NFL, feels a little bit odd for them to only be a 4.5-point dog. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I see that. All right, next game, Cardinals at Danny's favorite team, the Cleveland Browns.
Don't put that juju out there. I
Um,
boycott them.
No, Danny, you
Dude,
love
don't-
them
Why would you do that?
because I know it's, Danny hates them. I'm sorry, that was rude of me. I'm gonna lay 8 with the Browns at home. It was at like 7.5, I think. It doesn't matter. They're gonna cream the Cardinals. There's one exception. I'm gonna put a caveat on this, and I'm gonna do it with the next game as well. There's potential for Kyler Murray to be back for this game. I think last I heard, Clayton Tune is going to be getting the start. So my thought is bet the Browns now. If it turns out that Kyler Murray is getting the start and is back, you can either hedge it or bet yourself out of it and just eat the juice. Or you might be able to get to a point where, well, I guess probably not, but probably won't be able to middle it. But yeah, I'm gonna take the risk that Murray does not play and just bet the Browns, because if it's not Murray, they're gonna cover this
Look,
number.
I have a soul, so I will not be betting the Cleveland team total under or teasing Cleveland down to 2. But if I didn't, I would totally be betting. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
the Cardinals team
you would.
total under, or teasing Cleveland down to 2. But I have a soul, so I'm totally not doing that.
Well, I don't have a soul,
Yeah.
and this feels like a really good spot to put it in the teaser. So I am going to tease it. Cleveland by 2. Come on now. Every power ranking says Cleveland's like 10 points better. So
Yeah.
I'll give
I
myself
have 21.
That
teaser
one,
bets.
and that one you should bet
I have
regardless. of who
21
plays.
teaser bets that would have been 28 if I had included Cleveland in my shit. So I
T.J. Walker, Deshaun Watson,
DTR.
Clayton Tune, Kyler Murray. It doesn't matter. That teasing Cleveland to 2 is a really smart move. And then for Andy's sake, he's got Arizona +7. They're +8 now, so we'll bump that to 8 for him. That's a dumb bet. Don't do that. All right.
Yeah, I don't like that bet at all.
On to the next game. The LA Rams are traveling east up to Green Bay, Wisconsin, to Lambeau Field,
big
the
house.
Tundra. Yeah, the big house. This is going to be the same situation as my Browns bet. I'm going to take the Rams +3 here. And then if Matthew Stafford ends up being out, I'm going to probably bet myself out of this one. I definitely do not. I'd actually almost bet it larger the other way to get Green Bay, and have more on Green Bay, because I don't think the Rams without Stafford are going to do anything offensively. And I don't think the Rams defense is really going to keep the Packers. I don't think it's going to be a close game if Stafford doesn't start, but I think the Rams can win that game outright if he does. So that's the thing to watch in that one. And then Andy is also doing sort of a similar thing. He's taking the Rams +2.5. I'm going to change that to +3 for him because I'm a nice guy. But his teaser stays the same. He's also teasing the Rams from 2.5 up to 8.5. So if that's at 3, he may or may not do it. But that feels like I think that's probably something I'd probably still wait on Stafford for to see. But yeah. Because the Rams' backup quarterback is someone stupid too. Who is it? Why don't these teams have viable backups?
They're all young. They're all a lot of guys from the last like 2 or 3 years. It's very.
Is it Johnny Walk? Oh, it's Brett Rippon is the one who stepped in.
I feel like he's
week.
been around for a little bit.
But
where's Teddy Bridgewater at? Why doesn't anyone have a Teddy Bridgewater?
Detroit.
You
Lions
have
have
him. That's a good play. He's a valuable backup. Yeah. He's the one you want.
Teddy H2O,
You're right.
baby. Do you remember he wore 55, number 55 in the preseason?
I don't remember that, but that shit
That's
is
fun.
awesome.
Cardinals not to score a touchdown
All
plus
right.
350 if you don't have a soul.
Ooh.
If you don't have a soul.
That? Yeah, that's worth it just in case Kyler doesn't start. And then if he does, like, it might still hit because the Browns defense is really good. So yeah, that's not a bad bet, Danny. Danny, you should be the designated prop guy.
No, I don't bet props very well.
Yeah, they also don't come out
Yeah.
early enough. All right, next game, Washington Commanders at New England Patriots. We'll be quick on this one because no one gives a shit about this one. Andy's on Washington plus 2.5 and also teasing them up to 8.5. That is now his fourth teaser leg of the week. Anyone have any thoughts on this one?
I don't know what to make of New England. They don't look good. Washington looked really good last week. So
They just had themselves a little defensive
they
fire
did,
sale, though.
which is interesting, right? I thought that team was kind of good. I don't know if I'm crazy, but the Commanders seemed pretty good. They got the young quarterback. He looks like he's going to be okay. Sam Howell has not been bad.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's been decent.
Oh, he's not.
I hate him.
They seem like a 7-win team, and like there's no way
Okay.
out of
If you
it.
think that's eventually going to be the end result, you might as well get the draft picks. But you
Yeah.
like Montez Sweat is good. But I guess you can't pass up a
Yeah.
second round pick. The NFL's weird. Like Montez Sweat feels like he's better than like what are you expecting from a second round pick, Montez Sweat? Like I don't understand what your expectations are.
It's the payday, right? So both Montez Sweat and Chase Young were due for new contracts at the end of the year, and they had both, and they had already committed to both their defensive tackles. Jonathan
Mhm.
Allen, maybe
Yeah.
is that one of them? And I forget who the other guy is. Deron Payne. So they've already got big contracts on those guys, and so they can't afford to be paying the D line as much as they're going to be. So since they already committed to the interior DL, they got to pass on the edges, but that seems like a dumb long-term
Yeah, I don't
move.
understand it. I guess getting Montez Sweat for cheap is the benefit there. But
Yeah. Bears at Saints. Matt,
yeah,
what
I'm
do you
gonna
got
tease
here?
this. As long as Badgett, is it still Badgett, the starter? Is Justin Fields is not coming back, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal
Yeah, if
is.
it's Badgett, this seems like an easy tease down to 2.5. I mean, I'm assuming at the 8.5 number, Justin Fields is not coming back. So tease it down to 2.5. And I'm going to pair this up with my Cleveland Soulless bet. A soulless tease.
Ooh.
Justin Fields did not participate in his most recent practice.
Okay.
So I am taking 8.5 points with the Bears here, and I'll tell you why. I don't think the Saints are a good enough team to be laying more than a touchdown against anyone in the NFL. The Browns are pretty stinky, or the Bears are pretty stinky, but I don't see how the Saints are going to run away with this one. I think the Bears hang in this one, and this one should cover pretty easy. And if there's some chance that Justin Fields is able to come back, which I don't think he is, that just makes me like it that much more. So the Bears will figure out a way to hang in this one, and at the very least, they'll have the ball with a chance to cover late in the game.
I like that.
I am not a Saints fan by any means. I was really tempted to take the Saints, I guess minus 8.5, but it's too big.
Too many points.
It is too many points. I usually reserve that for when it's double-digit points, but
do we think Montez Sweat will get reps this week for the Bears?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I assume you could probably float into that position, right? Like
We'll probably at least be like pass rushing down.
But I think ever since the Bears got rid of Chase Claypool, they've been playing pretty well.
They have been. That's true.
Which now makes me want to kick myself in the dick about the Miami bet that I made up there earlier. They got Chase Claypool. It's like the curse of Chase Claypool.
Yeah, we beat the Patriots. We swept them this year. Actually, Tua beats the Patriots every time he plays them. So they could do that with or without Claypool.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. It's Seattle at Baltimore. I'm surprised nobody else has a play in this game.
I'm going to tell you.
It is one.
I actually do.
Okay.
Go ahead, though.
Yeah. So I'm taking Seattle +6 here. I know Baltimore has been good, but I think in they dog walked the shit out of my team, but they just don't look like they have it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just stupid, but I don't know. It seems like they can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can't keep getting away with this. That's how I feel like when I watch the Ravens and the Seahawks. Man, they will put up points on anybody. So the Seahawks are going to score, and I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to, I don't know, to cover the spread. They're going to have to hang like 40 on them to be able to cover this.
Baltimore has been pretty good. I understand you don't get
Yeah.
them, but they're pretty consistent. John Harbaugh's teams have been good. I just this number kind of feels right, and I don't know what to do with it. To your previous question,
Mark Andrews receiving yards under, but I'm not making that an official play.
Ooh, I like it for price picks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at the scores, it's a little confusing, right? They lost to the Colts, they lost to the Steelers, they beat the Titans by a touchdown, they whooped the Browns, and they beat the Bengals. But I don't know. So it's kind of what Ravens.
I mean, I like Gus Edwards rushing yards under and Lamar Jackson passing yards under do. So I guess I kind of am with you on Seattle to cover.
It
I feel
sounds
like the game's gonna be kind of low scoring.
Also, these are the two teams that beat the Lions, so I'll have a little bit of interest in seeing how they match up against each other. Okay, any thought on the total, by the way, guys? I don't know what it's at, but
let me pull it up.
It's at 44. I would lean under.
Yeah, I got nothing on this game. I have no read at all.
I would want to take the over, generally speaking, but that seems like a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's that's what I mean. It's a little bit tough game to read, but I'm taking the points with the Seahawks.
Mark Andrews receiving yards is at like 60, and he just hasn't done that a lot this year. So
yeah, he's not been very productive this year.
There's only been one productive.
So I don't know.
This year.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know.
It's Taylor Swift. You got to say it.
No.
You're drinking water. Just fucking say it.
I don't know who it is. I know. My water's gone too. Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce. All right, Bucks at Texans. Andy's the only one with the play here. He's doing the same thing as he did in the Washington game. He's taking the dog plus 2.5. That's the Bucks, and he's teasing them up to 8.5. I actually really like the teaser situation here. I think my general strategy of taking teams that did not cover against teams that did had the Texans as the play here, but I don't like it. I think that the Bucks defense is pretty good, pretty formidable, and I think Texans might struggle with it. I think I would probably lean under in this game if I was going to make a bet, but teasing Tampa at a plus 8.5 feels really good too.
Yeah, I think the teaser seems like a no-brainer. I don't think Houston has the capacity to beat anyone by more than one score. Right? They're improving, but I think you kind of saw the best that Houston was going to be this year, and you're going to start seeing regression to the mean of everyone's expectations for Houston, back down to like a 5 or 6 win team at best.
Yeah,
the teaser's the right play.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe CJ Stroud rushing yards if they're really low.
Yeah, if I was putting together a teaser from what the legs we've talked about today so far, I'd probably do Cleveland at -2 and Tampa at plus 8.5.
That sounds good.
Feels like the best ones. All right, that wraps up the 1 o'clock window. So we got a few more games here. So the first game of the 4 o'clock window is the Colts at Panthers. Andy is going to be teasing this one again. The Panthers from 2.5 up to 8.5. That one feels a little stinky. Matt, you've got to play here.
Yeah, I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Indianapolis. I think they're a better team. Just bar none. I know Carolina got their first win. Congratulations. Bryce Young gets the dub. Happy for him against that Houston Texans. We saw the battle of the number 1 and number 2 pick, and congratulations, Bryce Young. You won, but I don't think you're better. But with that being said, them coming off the win, Colts not covering last week. This seems
Such
like
a mid game, by the way. Such a mid game.
Yeah, bad.
15-13.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But with that being said, I think Indianapolis lay the 2.5. This is an easy play.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I love the Colts minus 2.5 here. This is like Carolina in this spot is a lot like the opposite of the Chiefs spot, where the Chiefs played a bad game and they don't tend to play 2 bad games in a row. So, I think that helps me feel good about my Chiefs bet against the Dolphins. This is like the opposite of that. The Panthers are a bad team. They got that, the weight is off their shoulders now. They got off the schneid. They got the W. They're not about to go on a win streak here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they'd have lost last week, maybe they hang in this one. But yeah, this is not going to be a good
Going
one
under
for them.
44.
This is going to be an ugly Sunday.
I just don't think
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is. I mean, I think he's going to dump the ball off a lot to Jonathan Taylor. So maybe you think of Jonathan Taylor receiving yards, depending on what it's set at.
You want to talk about prize picks, Danny, or props? Take all the Jonathan Taylor overs this week. Like the Panthers' run defense is bad. It's stinky bad. And Jonathan Taylor, I don't know if he's had a breakout game yet since he's been back, but he's been back almost a month now.
He had really good numbers last week, and they just chilled on him. I think he had 11 rushes for 65 yards in the first half, and then they just didn't play him again. It was very puzzling. He was awesome early on.
They're probably resting him a little bit.
This is like the 25 carries for 160 yards, 2 touchdowns matchup.
Nope,
Yeah,
that
they're
sounds
probably
great.
resting him a little bit, would be my guess.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm probably gonna bet that. I have like a little bit of promo cash left. I think I'm gonna do a little Jonathan Taylor. Oh, you always need to combine some other teams.
Tyreek Hill touchdown
with it.
Just put it in there. Half touchdown.
Yeah,
it's been good. It's been good.
It's been suitable.
Jonathan Taylor rush yards is not available.
Yeah, they don't put those up till Friday or Saturday.
Oh no, there's Sunday games up. It's just he's not available.
Yeah, they only have
CJ Stroud is set at
dumb.
8.5 on Prize Picks. I don't like it at 8.5. I was thinking it'd be 5.5. So.
Since we've mentioned Prize Picks a couple times now, I want to throw this caveat out there: do not do Prize Picks. It's a scam.
Unless Prize Picks wants to sponsor us, in which case it's totally not a scam, and we'll never say that again.
Hey, I've got nothing bad to say about Prize Picks. Very formidable company.
Prize Picks.
I respect their product. Pride of Atlanta, Georgia. Made in the U.S.
I feel like they could do a better job marketing.
Oh, that I agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
they should really just let you if they're gonna take your bet without don't tell me you're paying me 3 times. It's a 2 times bet. If this is clearly betting, you're not paying me 3 times my money back. It's not a 3 times parlay play. It's a 2 times parlay play.
Agreed.
That part's really
very
shady.
Sticky.
Yeah.
You don't get your stake back. Okay. Giants at Raiders. Sunshine, kick us off. What's your play here?
So I'm going under 37. Since the Raiders aren't going to be starting Josh McDaniels, I just don't think that they'll, take in the under.
What position do you think Josh McDaniels would do a better job at actually playing on a football field versus
be a hell of a punter for sure?
I think he's less of a liability to the team as a punter than he is a head coach.
Josh McDaniels strikes me as a nickel corner that gets burned on every play.
Oh God, him as a nickel corner is a hilarious visual. As anyone at any double move, he just falls over and breaks every bone trying to adjust to the ball. Danny, did you have a compliment sandwich in normal ChuggieBets style that you wanted to give him? Because we do need to.
So Josh McDaniels, you are a fantastic offensive coordinator when Tom Brady is throwing the football.
It's true.
I gotta, throw the shit in the middle of the sandwich here. You are a terrible head coach. You are not a leader of men. Men will not follow you. They will lose when you are leading them. So do not try.
They will question their own like validity.
But you serve other leaders very well, so they love to have you come back. So you probably can take another man's job and go be the offensive coordinator in New England again, because they cannot throw the ball right now. So
He's really
and
good
weaseling his way into
when he cheats,
jobs.
too.
Hey,
I
that's
just
part of the battle.
throw this out there. Iowa is looking for an
Oh, man, that's a great job. I would love to see Josh McDaniels at Iowa with whoever the hell is their quarterback now. I mean,
What if Brian Ferentz goes to coach O-line at New England?
Brian Ferentz is the new offensive coordinator and the Raiders. It's going to be great. Trade.
same offense.
They're doing a trade.
So to Josh McDaniels. Boys.
Josh McDaniels was a wide
Cheers.
receiver
Really?
at John Carroll University. He was a quarterback in high school, but he lost that position to some other guy who has a Wikipedia page.
I was going to say he strikes me as like a tight end, fullback, H-back type special teams contributor guy.
Like a punter?
No, like one of the people
kinda
that run down the
vein
field
that
on
I see.
kickoff. Yeah. Or the punter. He could be the punter. He could be a hell of a long snapper too. Let's not sell him short.
That's
Yeah.
got to be the best job.
Lots
in
of
football.
versatility.
You get to snap a ball a lot of yards and then run down the field and just knock somebody over.
And
Plus, he's a lunch
hell
pail
yeah.
guy.
He's gym rat, real gym rat. I'm taking the Giants +2.
All right.
Here's the idea. Daniel Jones is coming back. Their defense is okay. I don't know if Vegas is going to bounce back. Hopefully, Antonio Pierce is the leader of men that they needed in Las Vegas, but he was not the leader of men under Herm Edwards when he was at Arizona State. So I do think there'll be an adjustment period. I do think the Giants win here. I do not understand why the line is what it is. I do think the Giants should be a favorite. So this is like the reverse of the Minnesota play. But Giants +2 seems obvious.
Under 37.
You know, we can't mention leader of men 3 times on this podcast without also mentioning Nickelback. So I just have to. That's
Nickelback?
an old school deep cut Nickelback.
Turn that shit off.
There you go. Oh, you know, this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of the next matchup. Cowboys, Eagles, over 46. That is the play that a couple of our dear pals here are on. Andy's on that one, and Sunshine as well. Sunshine, speak for Andy and yourself and tell us why you're taking the over.
So I'm taking the over because I think that both these teams have a great ability to score. And the Philadelphia Eagles defense has cost me a couple fantasy matches. So, I mean, I'm not basing it on fantasy, but I believe that this is going to be duked out on the scoreboard rather than on the field. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think they're going to run up, who can score more.
I like it.
And they're only scratching the surface on the possibilities with that brotherly shove formation.
Dude, making the modifications into like a pass play is scary.
Get a little jet sweep, get a little like reverse pass, brotherly shove. Yeah.
You can
Also-
essentially rugby snap the ball too between like Jalen Hurts' legs if you want to get real weird with it. Because
why would you change the play?
They tried
It's
a lot
only
of
not worked one time this season, I think. Why would you do anything else?
Yeah, they fumbled it once, I think.
As for Andy, he made this bet because that's what his spreadsheet told him to do.
Yeah.
So I have a theory to answer your question, Danny, and it's because there's like that renewed heat that the refs are getting for like how the Eagles have been lining up offsides for that and not getting called for it. And so they said, okay, we're not going to do it this week. We're going to do like we'll call audible pivot to let it's like when someone robs a bank, they need to lay low for a couple of weeks and then they can go
Or
about
somebody's getting a bunch of
business.
heat about
So
their
they're laying low.
private airplane usage. They create a marketing ploy with the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Who was that? Who did that?
Yes. It was Taylor Heineke. Swift. Taylor Swineke. Okay.
Sunshine
work.
drink.
All right, so we have made it. We made it to Sunday Night Football, boys. And I don't know, is this podcast appropriate? I don't know. I'm going to say it. I saw somebody put a tweet out that said, so the matchup is Bills at Bengals, and it said Damar Hamlin has the opportunity to do the funniest thing
Yes,
ever.
he does, and I hope it was.
It's a good tweet. I'm glad he's alive, and I'm glad he's healthy, and I'm glad he's
Yeah,
playing
all he has
football.
to do is just
and he's
first
doing what he
tackle,
wants.
fake like he.
The joke is good.
Just
Is all
fake
I'm
like
saying.
he's dead.
I hope he plays
just
healthy.
has to fake like he dies.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. In a
Yes,
very dark
hilarious.
way.
I feel like you're
love
being.
it. It was a good joke. It would not be
I
in
feel like
good
you're
taste.
tempting the fates.
Like first tackle, just grab your heart and go, like in like a really funny animated way, like
It's
die
just
like you're in a
good. Good
cartoon.
guy.
That shit would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be funny. I feel like you got away with it once. I don't think you want to poke the bear too many times on the heart attack. The heart stoppage.
Last year the joke was good. This year, don't do it again.
Yeah, let's not fuck around anymore. Danny, what are you doing here in this Bengals Bills game?
Over 49.5. I feel like these two offenses are going to duke it out in prime time.
Sonny, are you at the same place?
Absolutely, and this is why. You give me a healthy Joe Burrow, I'm going to take the over in every game he has.
Hell yeah.
I love that confidence.
Andy is going to be taking 2.5 with the Bills. So he's expecting a close ball game here. And you know what? I hope we get it. We all deserve it because we've been waiting all day for it and we need it.
Carrie Underwood. I liked the Bengals. I think it went to +3 for a moment, and I was going to take it. And I had it as my play, but it's down to 2 now, and it just feels like too stinky. It feels like this is going to be a Bengals 3-point win, and so getting Bills at 3 covers that. And then also if the Bills just win, then great. But at Bills +2, I couldn't commit to it.
I get that. Let's end this.
Let's do it.
Chargers going into Gotham, to the big house in New York. We got the Jets. Danny, what are you doing here?
I'm doing under 40.5. I think that the Jets defense will dominate and dictate the way this game is played, the way they have most of the games that the Jets have played in.
For anyone keeping score at home, Danny is on 5 unders this week and 2 overs. We can recap them, but Danny is a total monster this week. Not playing a spread, only the totals, and I like it. Andy's going to be teasing the Jets up from 2.5 to 8.5. Feels pretty good.
Jets +8.5 at Jet Life Stadium. Ooh, that's a good one.
To be fair, I have 21 spread bets I made, but they're all teasers, and giving those out is cheating. That's why Andy's record's better than mine.
I only give one teaser for that reason. I like to play legit.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play legit. Let's do the chuggy bets and get the hell out of here. What do you guys say?
Yeah, sure.
What are you doing?
I'll kick it off. So my chuggy bet is Colts -2.5 at Carolina.
Cool. I like it. Sonny, what are you doing here, buddy?
I'm going to do the over for the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Like it. Dano, what total are you choosing?
This one's tough. I think I want to go with Thursday night under.
Oh, I love it. I love the confidence. Wow, I'd love to join you.
I already had it highlighted before you even picked it. Great.
I'm going to choose my teaser of a combination of Cleveland and New Orleans to win. Danny, give out any last drinks while we close up shop.
Yeah,
I'll drink some water. Sunshine,
Okay.
drink some beer.
That's
Matt
actually a
takes
good
a little green man off, and I'm just going to finish this beer.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm gonna recap all these teasers too. So that's Matt on Cleveland -2, New Orleans -2.5 teaser. Andy's legs are Titans +8.5, Dolphins +8.5, Rams +8.5, Commanders +8.5, Bucks +8.5, Panthers +8.5, and Jets +8.5.
He's got a style, doesn't he?
I'm surprised he skipped out on the Bills leg. That seemed dumb to me. But
Yeah.
So
he'll
wait.
Yeah.
We should designate Andy a Chuggy Bet. He's not here, but
Oh, you know why Andy didn't take that one? Because it was only +1 when it opened, and he was looking, and it's +2 now, and now it's a Wong. You might want to just. No, he has 2.5 there. He must have skipped it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Why would he do that?
I don't know. I have no idea why he didn't do that teaser.
Andy's
not like him at all. I
wrapped in a
guarantee you he
burrito.
bet that teaser in real life.
Andy's gonna take Tampa Bay as one of his legs, and someone else picked the last leg.
Did he have another one where he did both? How about the Rams? He did both in the Rams too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Commanders too. So yeah, okay.
All right.
Dolphins.
Thank you guys for following Chuggy Bets. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your mother. She'll love this episode. It's made specifically for your mom, so don't tell her. And good night, Joey.
Yeah.
Good
Zach
night,
Wilson.
Matt Simon.
Good night, Stu. Good night. Anyone else? All
Good
of our
night.
listeners.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone, mom who's listening.